Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about increase in the cases of forest fire, especially in the hilly regions of India, especially in the states like Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So in this particular video, we are going to discuss in detail about what are the main reasons behind increase in the forest fires, what are the steps which can be suggested to control the fire, and how these fires are causing losses both in terms of economically as well as in terms of loss to vegetation or environment. So first of all, the context in which we are discussing today's issues is because recently it has been reported that the forest fire continued to scorch several hectares of green cover in the Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. For example, if we just look at the figure that we got from the month of April, Himachal Pradesh have reported almost close to 750 different cases of forest fire, while in the same time duration Uttarakhand has recorded almost 1500 such incidents. These incidents are much higher even as compared to the previous year figures of the entire summer. The forest fire that we have witnessed in the entire summer, more than that we are witnessing in a single month. So if you look at even we have certain cases like on April 30th, Uttarakhand witnessed 51 large fire incidents within a single day. That is maximum record of forest fire by any Indian state. Due to this also 76 children in the Balika Ashram Simla had to be hurriedly rescued as the forest nearby caught fire again in Himachal Pradesh region on May 1st. The Kasauli Air Force Station struggled to douse the fire that flared up that Sunday afternoon. So a lot of challenges are also being faced by the Indian disaster management agencies as well as Indian military, because such kind of forest fire have not been seen in last few years. So the reasons behind forest fire we can divide into two categories. First we have the natural reasons of forest fire, and second is anthropogenic, that is the man-made reasons of forest fire. If you look at the season of natural fires in India, it somewhere lasts between month of November to June, and nearly as per a report published by Forest Survey of India Institute, it is believed that around 36% of India's forests are prone to frequent fire. And the main reason why the forest of India are very prone to frequent forest fire is believed to be the ample availability or more than abundant availability of dry biomass, which can also be categorized as fuel load. So large amount of dry biomass is present there, and this dry biomass catches fire very easily, and then a spread of fire also happens at much more rapid rate. Apart from that, the most important cause of natural fire is the lightning. So this lightning strike actually causes the leaves and other dry materials in the forest to catch fire, which can spread very fast rate. Now what are the anthropogenic causes of forest fire? So first of all, we are having or witnessing a change in the method of agriculture. For example, we also have many instances of tribal people in India who are practicing sifting cultivation, which is also called as chhoom cultivation. So due to this practice sifting cultivation, what they do, they leave their agricultural land fallow for a few years, and during this time they burn the forest and try to spread the ashes of this burned forest in this agricultural land so that the fertility can be restored. However, due to the burning of this forest, sometimes the spark not only spread in the desired area where the fire has to be spreaded, but also spread out in the other unintended or undesired areas of forest. Second, we also witnessing unchecked land use pattern, which also have increased the cases of forest fire. Third, Forest Survey of India Institute also have said that accidental firing is also one of the reason, because many times when people go for picnic in the forest, sometimes they leave the stove, or we can say leave the fire burning, and that spreads in large forest area, or sometimes even like as small as cigarette butts are there. Sometimes people go in forest and leave the cigarette butts, and that actually also is very important method of spreading the forest fire. So apart from accidental, we also have many cases of deliberate forest fire that is done largely by people who are we can say unsocial elements sometimes, or sometimes also because they want to cut the forest after burning them so they can sell in the market. So these are the 5-6 important reasons which have increased the cases of forest fires in India. The forest fire further can be classified into 3 types. We can have ground fire, surface fire and ground fire. So let us try to understand the differences between these 3. So what is a ground fire? Ground fire in the forest is defined as the fire which is caused due to burning of organic material that is present in the upper soil layer. The main characteristic of such kind of fire is that these fires burn very slowly, and they grow or they spread under the vegetation cover. So these are not that much dangerous. The surface fire is most deadliest one as far as India is concerned, because here the burning of dry leaf that is spreaded across or that has fallen on the surface of the forest, they catches fire. Then from dry leaves further branches catches fire, and then all the other materials that is present on the forest surface, they catches fire and spread very swiftly. They not spread very fast rate, but spread very swiftly. The third kind of fire that is rare in case of India is a crown fire. These crown fire basically refers to kind of fire which is observed on the tree tops, and these fires burn very quickly from one tree top to another tree top, and they are associated with very huge flames and intense heat. So these are the kind of fires that you will witness in the California region of USA or part of Australia as well, especially in the drought season, in the dry season. However, if you look at the kind of fire that India's forest witnesses, the most of the fire are of surface fire type. So let us try to understand the two states which are witnessing maximum number of forest fire, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and what is the main region of fire in these states. So as we discussed before, as per the record given by the Forest Survey of India, around 750 fires have been witnessed in the month of April alone, and that have destroyed or ravaged across 5,662 hectares of land in the forest regions of Himalaya. If we compare with the previous figures, in the last year between 2020 and 2021, only 1,045 forest fire incidents have happened in the entire summer. So almost 50% that in this year has happened in the month of April alone. The maximum number of comparative fire that Himachal Pradesh has witnessed was in the year of 2018-2019, when total number of forest fire was almost 2,544. Now, the Chief Conservator of Forest of Himachal Pradesh has said the main reason why we have higher incidences of forest fire is because relatively this year the weather is much more hot and dry. For example, generally in the month of April, May, they witness the Himachal Pradesh Uttarakhand region receives certain amount of rainfall, but this year the last rainfall has happened just in February. After that, we have 2 months of continuous dry period. Second, the rain deficiency, as we discussed before, is very high. Relatively, the rain deficiency in last 2 years was 80 to 85%, but this year rain deficiency has reached to 90 to 94% in the month of April. To give you a brief idea, rain deficiency basically measures the amount of rainfall that is lesser than the average long period average rainfall that is received in that particular area. The third reason also is the constitution of the forest. So around 41% of forest in both state of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh combined is a type of cheer pine forest, and cheer pine forests are more prone to forest fire because the leaves and the branches of this cheer pine forest are very inflammable, and even they sometimes ignite or they sometimes undergo auto ignition. When temperature rises to certain extent, they catches fire very fast, and the spread of fire also happens at a very fast rate. So three major reasons: hot and dry weather, deficiency of rain, and the availability of cheer pine forest are the main reason why the number of or incidents of fires have increased in these areas. If you look at the map here, we can see this is the Himachal Pradesh, this is Uttarakhand. So in the Himalayas, we have a continuous belt of forest, and this continuous belt of forest is the one that is ravaged by fire in this particular year. So let us try to understand about the fire incidences in Uttarakhand. So Uttarakhand has witnessed about 1,791 forest fire, and it has scorched or destroyed almost 2,891 hectares of forest land. The Uttarakhand forest fire is become much more deadliest if you look at the state-wise level, because almost 71% of geographical area of Uttarakhand is covered by the forest itself. And as per the report published by state government of Uttarakhand, it is believed that unexpected rise in temperature and, as we discussed, lesser amount of rainfall in this particular season, and this has been also coupled with a very strong wind velocity. So due to the unexpected rise in temperature and lower rainfall, the proneness of forest to catch fires increases, and anytime due to either natural reason or accidental reason, human made reasons, sometimes when fire ignites, the strong wind velocity causes a fire to spread at a very fast rate in a very large part of forest. So not only these two states, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, but other states also, for example, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Odisha, along with Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra, these are the other states that are prone to fire. And Madhya Pradesh is one of the state where forest fire, the forests are much more prone to fire. And if you look at the figure between 2021 to April 2022, almost 143 to 440 fire have been recorded in these states as well. If you look at this map here, what we can see that the forest in northeastern and central part of India have more fire prone areas in country. Also in northeastern region, 30% of forest cover in Mizoram are under extremely fire prone category, that is highest in the country, even higher than Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And that is why if you look at three major regions are there, these regions, then we have northeastern regions, and then we have the central Indian regions. So these are three major regions where the forests are much more prone to fire and catches fire easily in the dry period. So how can we prevent this forest fire? So as per the report published by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they have suggested some measures how forest fires or the damages from the forest fires can be minimized. The first of such suggestions is that construction of watchtowers for early detection, because many times what happens, a small fire that somewhere ignites in the forest, if it remains undetected, can spread in a very large, it can spread to a very large area and cover entire forest stretch. So by construction of watchtowers at a higher elevation, a small forest fires can be easily detected and then remedial measures can be undertaken. Similarly, deployment of fire watchers, obviously, because if you're constructing watchtowers, you need to have large number of fire watchers who can keep on continuously looking at the forest, different stretches of the forest. Third is creation and maintenance of fire lines. So what is a fire lines? Fire lines are basically a unforested area which is between densely forested region. That means suppose this area we have large density of trees, large density of forest, this area we have large density of forest. So we have a fire line that is constructed between two different stages of forest. So suppose that if fire has started in this particular region of forest, it does not spread to the second region because there will be no vegetation zone, and thus fire will remain confined to a smaller zone or one single zone of the forest. So creation and maintenance of fire lines, that means all kind of inflammable materials, vegetation should be completely uprooted from this region. And the fourth is dependency on the advanced technologies, especially remote sensing technologies and the satellites, especially MODIS satellite, that stands for moderate resolution image and spectroradiometer data. These satellite data and remote sensing data can help us in understanding that which region of forest is experiencing higher thermal temperature, and are much prone to forest, and there we can actually focus more. The fire watchers, the watchtowers can be focused more on that area. So these are the major measures which if can be implemented to forest regions of India, especially Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, can help to minimize the incidences of forest fire. So that is all about this whole topic of forest fire. Thank you very much.